You saw this coming, and you're here, so let the reviews begin. A lot of action here was just insane. I love that move you did where Kai was smacked in the air like if he was a baseball, since I don't think I've seen someone do it like that in a Lego video before, or at least in that quality. I usually tell people to avoid letting their characters take turns when they fight because otherwise it feels very unnatural, but I really like they overcame this by having the casual fight moves, but they always lead up to something crazy like the one I mentioned with Kai, so it stops being predictable, and that's also a big issue in Lego fights, but it's also properly lit and framed, so no issues there. The issue I'm bringing up isn't much of an issue, but more something you can work on. Like, let the camera move more than just small pans, and by that I mean like the pans side to side, but outside of that you did a good job keeping the camera in track of the characters, but it just still feels like you could have brought it to the next level. Nonetheless, 8 out of 10. I quickly recovered from injuries. I love being me. Amazing job with the camera work, especially for the intro shot. The animation was also consistently good. Also, you should have kept that filter you added halfway through the video for the whole thing instead. And if you did that filter switch to make it more dramatic, instead you should have done that with the lighting. Even though this just was an episode, it still felt too short, and instead it just felt like one scene instead of one episode. Let your videos drag out with more content, otherwise it's better off that for what you would call an episode, have a lot of them together and then consider that as one episode and post that. But don't get me wrong, your lightsaber work was good, but I don't feel like that's enough to carry a whole episode. But if a video not being long enough is a main issue in the video, then I believe you're still on the right track. 7 out of 10. And I made ready my chip. I really liked the comedy here, and especially when it was all exaggerated, keeping the joke actually funny throughout the whole video. Also, good job with the framing and having the camera in a respective angle. The physical humor with the scene of everything being thrown was, like I said earlier, exaggerated, but everything felt purposeful and it just worked. You should have also put the animation energy back earlier in the video where the character movements were more stiff, so you could have taken advantage of one of your better skills. I do see a lot of potential though, especially if you make more fast comedies like this. 9 out of 10. Once again, amazing job with the set design and the switching of live action and stop motion. And also, thank you for adding subtitles for Donald Duck, since I've always struggled to understand them. Even though this was a short episode, this contained not just the content for the episode along, but also gave space for more than just implications of what's next. It also left some room for mystery, which is different from implications, especially with Squidward returning. That's something I'm taking notes off of so I can use in my video. Though, I still have to admit that this is one of your lesser stacked videos, especially with it having way less happening. I will let that slide since this is more of an introduction video, but you have to remember I also have a higher standard for you, especially after your backroom series, which was literally perfect. So for this right now, it's an 8.4 out of 10. Great job with all the set designs that were completely Mario themed, which was honestly impressive since you had to do it several times. Also, the fact you're able to stick so many things in with such a small runtime is impressive. Because of that, it didn't feel like it took more time than it needed. It was paced perfectly for what you clearly wanted to do, which was to embrace everything Mario. The driving part actually looked convincing with having all the movements on the grass move to make it look like the car was actually moving. But also, there was a part where I was able to tell that you were masking, so at that point you should have gone the extra effort to remove the clear glass bricks under Mario when he jumped with the masking, since you might as well put your skills to use. And also, you should have tried to lower the camera because having it that high makes this all feel like a showcase rather than an actual animation. You still did a good job though, so 7 out of 10. I like what you did with the out-of-character Yoda, and seeing him use a gun was a first. I also do like where the video was heading, but you could have also embraced it more. He only used a gun and stole a ship throughout the runtime of the video, but you could have also showed him causing havoc. Literally anything including that. If you're going to commit to something in a video, you might as well go all out, since you never know if that's going to be the last video you ever post. This, again, is not an issue with your animation, since it's decent, but this is more of a storytelling thing, so this is something you can invest your creativity and show it more. And to top it all off, this is a kind of thing that you don't have to wait like a whole year to fix with skills. You could fix something like this within an hour. But for now, this is a 6 out of 10. I watched your other installments in your series to catch up, and I'm glad I did. Your use of imagery and just camera work as a whole has infinitely improved. Same thing goes with the set design. I also really like that you didn't fall for the issue that when you film in 21:9 aspect ratio, people usually think they're filming with 16:9, meaning they're going to be cropping out parts that make the video feel less natural, by like removing headroom and all, or having them just way too close to the camera. It really did feel like everything was framed on purpose, and it made everything, especially with several characters and scenes together, just look right. I struggle with this myself, so great job with you being able to do this. Your camera movements don't even feel like they're in stop motion, which is amazing. Story-wise, this is a great conclusion for your now 4-part series. Despite this video almost being an hour long, it doesn't drag and everything just feels essential. Also, video-wise, this video looks cleaner from the other ones, and I did actually like the color palettes of your older videos, but this is also a good redo of your style. Also, I just gotta mention the set design. There's so many things going on with each location that I actually have to step up my game to continue reviewing videos. Also, I'm not gonna be spoiling the story of the video since this is 4 parts. You guys are better off checking them out. But yeah, anyways, if fact you're able to get this many sets for one video shows a lot about your patience. Some parts in the second half of the video were overexposed, so I assume those were the earlier things you filmed, but that's really the only thing I can find to criticize about this video, so there's nothing I can give you that's lower than a 10 out of 10. Great job with the flips, but this video falls for the issues where it feels like characters are taking turns in combat, ruining the illusion of it. Let the characters interrupt each other's moves, that way it feels way more genuine. They don't struggle with each other's moves since they're literally taking turns, so instead it feels like they're doing gymnastics or like a circus play. The video is short, so I should be going easier on it, but it falls for a lot of the problems I've been consistently telling other people. For example, the ending basically just ending and being anticlimactic. It's fine to have them both just decide not to fight anymore, but that wasn't even done for comedic purposes, or it was not even built up to happen at all. So it basically just felt like you just wanted to end the video. But if you ever feel like you're gonna do that, you might as well just film it another day. Even if you didn't extend the runtime, this is actually possible to do with a 40-second long video, learning how to pace it and giving it a build up. It's fine if you don't have enough Legos to build a set, but you can use some non-Lego materials to make the set, otherwise it just also feels lazy and rushed. The framing was alright, but that's as much as I could say. Sorry, but with so much that could have been done with its potential, yet none of it was touched, I can't give you anything higher than a 4 out of 10. Not much happened with the set design in the beginning, but in the second half of the video, you showed way more effort, so it's excused. The training montage was actually funny, especially with the adding unique stuff in it, with like making it more special. For example, the push-up session. Also, a great job here with the voice acting, since you do something better than I can do, which is show energy when people speak. Even though, of course, you don't sound like the age of the Jedi, the energy and tone is there, so it turned out to work for the video in the end. The stuff you did with the animation, like the Force stuff, was good, but just keep on practicing things like easing in and out to remove some of the chop in it. But for what the video intended to do, it did a great job to fulfill it. 7.5 out of 10. Just work more on the animation so your skill set is more evened out. This is the energy a lot of videos earlier needed. I don't mean they need to be edgy like this, but instead it's embracing whatever the plan was. Whatever you make, just go wild with it, because if you don't, your idea will never be made. There's thousands of Lego Batman videos on YouTube with similar stories, but even the edgy ones can't be a one-of-one copy of this. If you guys have a genuine creative idea, no one will do it for you. Also, work on the pacing of the video though, since nothing really happens for the first 45 seconds of the video, but I'm glad it picks up later. It's fine to show that they're doing nothing, but there are ways to show people are doing nothing with it still feeling like stuff are happening. That's more of a practice thing you learn over time. Same thing goes with the audio. Some parts are just too loud and the voice lines are too quiet. Edit your videos with 80% volume on your device, so if it hurts your ears, you know you're making it too loud, and that way you also know when you're making something too quiet. You will truly feel the difference when you upload it and watch it in like normal volume. I promise you this works. That's what I do. A solid 30 seconds could have been cut out of this video, and it was mainly just empty spaces with no dialogue. And by no dialogue, I mean like the in-between of people's conversations. It's fine to have gaps when there's music, but there really just wasn't that in this video. So it just felt a little bit awkward when they were just like speaking and then silence, then they spoke again. I've mentioned before that having characters interrupt each other, even if it's just a small hum as the other one speaking, makes it not only shorter, but it makes it feel way more natural. I'm glad you went beyond your way to embrace your own style, but even then you still need to practice these things. So 7.5 out of 10. And yeah, that's the people for today. If you were told you're gonna be in a review but you didn't see yourself in this one, you're probably gonna be in the next one. So but for now, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.